Welcome to Forbes Entertainment. Joining me now is Rob LaFranco, Assistant Managing Editor here at Forbes. Rob, as always, thank you so much for joining me.
Pleasure to be here.
Great. So this Monday, the Hollywood Foreign Press Association announced the nominations for the 2023 Golden Globe Awards. What can you tell us about them?
Oh yeah, award season is ramping up quite quickly. It's a surprise this year. Some underdogs are getting a lot of front-runner nods. And, I think Hollywood has finally learned its lesson, the whole Oscars so white problem. This is seems to be, I don't know if it's an answer to that, but it's certainly it's a round of nominations that includes a lot of minority films, people of color, and that sort of thing. So it's a good sign.
Yeah, definitely. Abbott Elementary was most nominated TV series, but who else are the underdogs that you're seeing this year?
Well, you've got the Banshees of Inisherin, of course, which is they're leading. I mean, when one of them, Abbott Elementary's got 5 nominations, Banshees has 8. I mean, once you see those kind of numbers, it's sort of like, the Oscars are going to follow suit. I mean, it just shows that the Hollywood community is enraptured with this particular content. So that's a very good sign for those.
What about snubs?
Snubs, well, yeah, I suppose you can say Tom Cruise is snubbed because he's in the biggest movie of the year, but then again, I don't think that the movie is nominated. It's kind of hard to ignore the biggest movie of the year. I think that gets an automatic nod.
Of course.
And was Tom Cruise good or bad in it? Who's to say? But it's Tom Cruise getting an Oscar nomination for a role that he's rehashing from 30 years ago. I suppose you can consider that a snub, although it is in one way, and it's sort of that makes sense in another way. Tom Hanks is another one. America's favorite dad, I guess, is what they call him. It's maybe the country or the world has moved on from the love of Tom Hanks at the moment, but he's not really he hasn't made a presence on this year's list.
Yeah, that was definitely weird to see him as a villain in Elvis. That was definitely a turn from good guy Mr. Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, he's a talented actor. He did the role really well. I think part of the problem might have also been that Elvis wasn't exactly a big it wasn't the big hit that I think Baz Luhrmann would have loved it to be. So it had a couple of faults. Yeah,
so now talking about award shows as a whole, this is the kickoff to award season. Do people care about award shows anymore?
Certainly declining interest. There's been a bit of a bounce back. I mean, there was a few years there where it was really looking like this was done. Nobody cared. It's going to go off network. People were starting to talk about this is going on streaming only. That doesn't seem, it hasn't happened, and it doesn't seem to be the direction. There was a bit of a bounce back in ratings last year for the award shows. It's a genre that needs an overhaul. This kind of selection process where you're getting a diversity of films, it's not just a knee-jerk going for the established actors, the established directors, the predictable films. I mean, to have, 2 pieces of content that are, content from people of color is it's a complete slap in the face to the way things have gone in the past, where there was always an accusation against Hollywood that this is very white biased. So this may shake things up. The question is whether the audiences for those films care to tune in. We'll see.
And are they any indication of what the most popular movies have been? Because I know in the past there's been this disconnect between what's popular in the box office opposed to what's sweeping at the award shows.
Yeah, there's always been a disconnect. I think there always will. I mean, the box office is the people. It's it's the commercial appeal, right? And who chooses the nominations for these things? It's the Hollywood Foreign Press Association for the Golden Globes. It's a select group of judges for the Oscars. These are people who are deep in the industry. They see every movie. They critique every movie. I mean, they're deep at it. A commercial success is almost like a bad thing for them, So there's always been a disconnect there, and this year shows it. I mean, the top 3 films of the year, the actors in them haven't really gotten any nods, but